Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first video in the JavaScript section on our HTML5 video player, and in this section we will be adding the functionality to our already built and styled video player. So let's get started by making this play button work right here. I will open up the text editor, and the first thing that I'm going to do is create a new file. And I will save this file as player.js, as this is going to contain all our JavaScript. I'll save it next to our HTML document, so that from our HTML document we can reference that external JavaScript file by using the script tags within the head of our HTML document, just below the link to our style sheet. And in this we set the type attribute equal to text/JavaScript, and we set the source attribute to player.js, which of course is pointing to our external JavaScript file. We can test if this link was successful by alerting some message from our JavaScript file. But before we just alert something, let's add an event listener to the window. So window.add event listener to make sure that the entire window was loaded. So the event that we are listening for is load. We're calling that on the window. Whenever it loads, we want to execute the body of this anonymous function right here. And the last argument should be false. Alright, and inside that body I'm just going to alert linked. Alright, let's test this in the browser. I will refresh the page, and as you can see we get this JavaScript alert, so everything seems to be working so far. Alright, now what I want to do is I want to use some of the elements from our HTML document within this JavaScript file. But I forgot one very important thing. I forgot to give our video itself an ID, so let's quickly do that. I'll just give it an ID of video, and now within our JavaScript file we can create a video variable and set it equal to document.getElement by ID video. So now we can actually use the video element from our JavaScript file. I also want to create a variable for the play button within the buttons container, which is right here. It has an ID of play button, so let's grab that element by ID as well. Play button equals document.getElement by ID play-button. Alright, now just as we've added this event listener for loading to the window, we're going to add an event listener to our play button as well. But this event listener listens to click events. So we will write play button.add event listener click. Whenever it clicks, I want to execute a function called play or pause. And the last argument of this add event listener method is false again. Alright, so let's make this play or pause function. Function play or pause. Now if we want to play, we only want to play our video if it is currently paused, and we can test if the video is currently paused by using the paused attribute on our video variable right here. If the video is paused, I want to play it, and then I will execute video.play. However, if it is not paused, I want to run video.pause. Alright, now let's test this out. I will save that JavaScript file, refresh the browser, and now if we click this play button right here, you will notice that the video starts playing, and if you click it again, it pauses again. Okay, so that seems to be working, that's great. However, whenever we click this play button, and the video is actually busy playing, I want this to look like the pause button, so we're gonna have to set the source on this play button whenever it's playing. So let's go back to our JavaScript file. Now, whenever we play the video, that play button should change into a pause button. And to do that, we're going to set this source attribute on our play button to images/pause.png, because pause.png is one of those buttons within our images folder. So whenever we play the video, I want to set the source attribute on the play button to images/pause.png. And similarly, when the video is paused, I always want the play button source to be play.png. Images/play.png. Alright, let's test it out. I will refresh the browser, and now if we click play, you'll notice that the button has changed into a pause button. And if we click pause again, it changed back into a play button. So everything seems to be working so far. So that's all about the play or pause button actually, but there's one final thing that I like to change. Notice how we are immediately attaching this add event listener to the play button. Well, we actually should first wait and check if the video is actually loaded before we start playing that. So a safer way to handle this, what we're currently doing, is to first explicitly load the video whenever the window loads, and next add an event listener to the video. Video.add event listener, and whenever we can play the video, let's execute the body of this function. And inside this body we are of course going to attach that event listener. So this makes sure that whenever we actually click the button, this play or pause script only gets executed whenever the video has actually loaded, where we can actually play it. And let's set the third argument of this add event listener to false again. Now, instead of can play, you can also use can play true if you want to make sure that the entire video can be played without buffering, but for our intents and purposes I think can play is good enough. So let's test it one more time. Refresh the browser and try to click the play button. And as you can see, it started playing. So that means that the video had loaded and we could play the video. Alright, so that's all about the play and pause button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.